Hello, y'all. I am back again for another video. And so, of course, most likely, you know about the word validation. And when I think of this word, it doesn't necessarily mean that someone is going to agree with everything you say. However, there's so many videos that you can watch or listen to regarding being validated. So, one of the things I like to do on this channel, of course, is give real live examples. And in my opinion, these examples will help even if you're empathic, because what we want to do as empathic people is be mindful of ourselves, the things we say, how it affects others and ourselves. So going into this video, the first thing I'm going to do is look up the word validation, okay? Just to see what the definition is. And a lot of times we don't do that. We just hear videos, we hear the word, but it never hurts to look a word up, because what this does for me is you learn more about the word, and also you're validating the truth instead of just listening to videos. Everybody's throwing the word around. For example, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. For a long time, the word evil has been used. It's biblical, it's just been thrown around. Finally, one day I looked up the word. And once you look up the definition of evil, you will realize that at some point we've all been evil. And I'll explain why. When I looked up the word, it says something to the effect of being immoral or doing something that's not considered right towards someone else, towards yourself. It's an immoral act, basically, from what I remember when I first looked up that word. And I'm like, well, there's many things you can consider immoral, okay? If I go to the store and I steal a candy bar, I just did an immoral act. Now, a lot of times evil is used when actually wicked should be used, because wicked is more of an extreme version of evil. So I'll just use that as an example. So if we look up validation, it's the action of making or declaring something legally or officially acceptable. The second definition could be recognition or affirmation that a person or their feelings or opinions are valid or worthwhile. Okay, so your opinions are valid or worthwhile. And your opinions and feelings are always valid and worthwhile. I don't care if you were considered legally insane. Your feelings mean something. I was just watching a video with, oh my goodness, it was so disturbing. I think her name was Deasia. I want to say Watkins. Let me see. I don't want to use the wrong last name. I think it was Deasia Watkins. Yeah, I'm right. Deasia, Deasia Watkins story. And it's on a YouTube channel called The Crime Atlas. However, that video does not show the interrogation of her. So, yeah, that video doesn't show enough. It doesn't show the interrogation of her. I'll find it and put it in my playlist. What I'll do is I'll create a playlist with the Deasia Watkins story, and I'll find the interrogation video. I also have a playlist about interrogations. And so I'll find the video and put it up under there. It won't be too hard to find because I just watched the complete interrogation within the last 2 days. So I will create a Deasia Watkins documentary playlist or whatever. And that way you can watch this video and the interrogation video. And please watch it under my playlist because I get credit for those watch hours. So going back to validation and the meaning of validation. So a lot of times you'll be tested. So I'm going to use a perfect example. And as a disclaimer, I'm not saying somebody's a narcissist because they do this. I mean, everybody's not a narcissist. However, people have feelings and emotions. People have to live and sit with the consequences of whatever their behavior is. Weight gain, drug abuse, breaking the law, assaulting people, getting assaulted, being verbally abused, being verbally abusive, whatever is going on, there's consequences to the behavior. So I went through a stage of gaining a little weight. That's why I'm on this exercise bike now, to work on getting that down. And I don't just use the bike at home. I do walking, and then I have access to a fitness center and things like that. So validation, okay. And this is why a lot of people are in grave sites. One of the places that a lot of people will not get validated is in the hospital. I had an experience about a year and a half ago. It wasn't last year, I think it was the year before last. I went into the emergency department, and I have asthma, y'all. So I have inflammation-based asthma. So that causes some inflammation throughout the body also. So this is something I've had for years. I'll pop a couple of ibuprofens as needed every blue moon and I'm fine. Sometimes maybe naproxen. Inflammation ain't nothing to play with. It ain't nothing you want to be trying to, well, I'll see if it goes away within 3 or 4 weeks on its own. I mean, basically you're on fire, right? So if there's a fire in the house, do you just watch it flame up for 2 more weeks? And if you do that, now the entire neighborhood is on fire. So you got to look at it like that. So one of the issues that was going on was I stated to a particular person over and over, several times, because sometimes we talk about our health issues, which is a great thing to discuss. You can learn from another person and they can learn from you. And so with me, high blood pressure is a form of an alarm, and it also needs a trigger. And I'm just going to start out with this. For my high blood pressure, stress is not a trigger to make it go up excessively in numbers. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't go up like a couple of notches. Like, okay, if my blood pressure is supposed to be 120 for the top number and it's normal, maybe it could go up to 122. However, the trigger for my high blood pressure is weight and other underlying illnesses. So with the inflammation that I had over a year, approximately a year and a half ago, however, whatever year it wasn't last year, so it's around 2021. So there was another little mild illness that I had that actually sent my blood pressure up to about top number 200, which is very rare. But the underlying cause was a right ear infection. And so basically, I'm in the emergency department telling this particular doctor that's the trigger. But see, Remember, psychopaths and narcissists won't validate you. Basically, I needed an antibiotic. I ended up getting that antibiotic a week later. By the way, after I was almost unable to get out of my own bed because I got so sick. So, when you're not being validated regarding your medical, so if it wasn't for that, there was also a migraine that came with this ear infection. And that's because you got to remember your ear is very much connected to the brain. It's all connected. Everything in your face, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your brain is sitting right above all of that. And I had the worst migraines I have ever had. I normally suffer here and there from headaches. So basically, the moral of the story is this, y'all. It's just so hard to believe that my high blood pressure is not triggered by stress. It's just not. It's triggered by weight. It's triggered by something as small as an ear infection, just like an alarm. Get on YouTube and look up the danger of an ear infection, and you're going to find out a lot of information. Some of it will be very disturbing to you. An ear infection ain't nothing to play with, especially one that's been ongoing for a long time. I mean, you can even be subjected to hearing loss. So, a lot of times, even empathic people, we don't want to recognize or sometimes validate the true cause. Okay, it's hard to accept. My high blood pressure is only because of my weight. And the reason a lot of times people don't want to accept it about you is because that's the same reason they have high blood pressure. Okay, and so if they accept that that's a trigger and that's why you have high blood pressure and it's not stress related, then sometimes people have to go over their own life, especially if they kept weight on them a long time. And so what we as empathic people need to do and work on doing is not being so insecure. And if you didn't get the weight off and you suffer from high blood pressure many years, some people have had heart attacks and things like that, then you just didn't get it off. But a lot of times we know deep inside what it is. I was told a couple of years ago by someone that that's what most likely was triggering my blood pressure, is the few pounds that I got on. And I was not in general a overweight person that actually I could go to a pharmacy and weigh in and it said obesity. But finally that day came and I got 18 to 20 pounds off. I'm doing very good with keeping that off. I just don't let it get too far out of hand. If I gain 2 or 3 of the pounds back, I hurry up and get it off. So throughout conversations with people, whether they be male or female, a lot of times there will be this silence because the issue may come up again. And the issue is, well, was your high blood pressure due to stress? Now, you've already said it's truly due to weight. But see, it goes back to that doctor when I was in the emergency department. Same type of philosophy. Not listening. We got a lot of dead people that ended up in coffins because somebody didn't validate what they were saying. And remember this, the first doctor for your body is not someone that has a degree. It's not someone that went to school. It's not someone that thinks they know you better than yourself. The first doctor for you, and most good doctors will understand this, is the patient. You're your first doctor. You know your body oftentimes more than anyone else. So this is why people struggle with validating you, because in turn, if they validate you, they may have to validate their own behaviors. And it's hard for human beings to do that. So basically, that's the moral of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I've been on this bike almost 16 minutes, y'all. I love y'all so much. Please leave a comment. Tune in for more. I got more and more videos coming. I appreciate you so much. And share this video also. Thank you so much. Bye.